Hi, everybody, and welcome back to Lit Up with Annie. In this session today, we are going to talk about one of the very famous poems by John Donne, A Valediction Forbidding Mourning. It's a metaphysical poem and it explores the theme of love through striking imagery and conceits. And बहुत famous conceits इसमें है, जैसे कि lovers को कंपस के साथ कंपेयर करना या गोल्ड के साथ कंपेयर करना. So it has lots and lots of striking imagery. It was written for his wife and more. So he was about to leave on a journey, and he was like, reassuring and more that their love is strong enough to endure this physical separation because it's on a spiritual level, the love. And that's what is the gist of this poem also, wherein the lover is talking to his beloved and saying that we have to part our ways. हमें दूर जाना है अभी, लेकिन हमें उस चीज को mourn नहीं करना है. We don't have to mourn in forbidding mourning. Valediction का मतलब क्या होता है? Farewell. So we don't have to mourn because our love is not just about physically being present with each other. It's much more than that. It is on a spiritual plane. So even when we are not physically together, our love is going to be there. Okay, so that's the gist of the poem. And 1611 May, he had written this. He was going on this diplomatic mission to France. So let's start the poem. It's a long, not a very long poem. 9 stanzas are there. So I won't read the full poem. पहले मैं 2-3 stanzas read करती हूँ, फिर stanza wise चलेंगे. It starts like this: As virtuous men pass mildly away and whisper to their souls to go, while some of their sad friends do say, the breath goes now, and some says no. So let us melt and make no noise, no tear floods, nor sigh tempests move. It were profanation of our joys to tell the lady our love. Let's start. These are the first 2 stanzas, and first stanza may Donne begins with a simile, as virtuous men. जैसे virtuous men pass mildly away. So he's comparing the separation of lovers to a peaceful passing of virtuous men. These good men. How these good men die very quietly, passing into the next life, softly urging their souls to leave the body. While some of their sad friends say the breath goes now. तो इनके जो friends वहाँ हैं who are mourning the death, or they're very sad, of course, their friend is dying. Some of them say, okay, now the breath is completely gone. But some others say, no, there is still some left. So itna zyada quietly they pass away that you can't even make out if it's like completely gone or still there. It's just as calm and undramatic. So these men die so quietly that the friends cannot determine the exact moment of their death. That's the first stanza. कि जिस तरह से these good men pass away, then moves on to the next stanza and says, so let us melt and make no noise, no tear floods, nor sigh tempests move. It were profanation of our joys to tell the lady our love. So he says to his beloved, let us accept our parting also just like that, quietly, without any drama, without excessive sorrow. Melting here means gently. You understand that action of melting? It's so smooth. So let us also melt and let's not make any noise. कोई हमें रो रो के floods नहीं लाने हैं. Exaggeration है, hyperbole use किया है. No tear floods, nor sigh tempests move. So crying excessively or making a dramatic scene, he says, would diminish the sacredness of their love. It were profanation of our joys. हमारे जो joys हैं हमारी love में, उसको हम disrespect करेंगे अगर हम रोएंगे बहुत या just like that. So he likens their love to a religious experience, too profound to be displayed publicly. To tell the laity our love. Laity, what is laity? Ordinary. Ordinary people को अगर हम अपना प्यार के बारे में इस तरह से बताएंगे, रो के, overly dramatic होके, it would be profanation of our joys. It would be disrespectful. ठीक है. So yeah, third stanza. Moving of the earth brings harms and fears. Men reckon what it did and meant, but trepidation of the spheres, though greater far, is innocent. अब जॉन डर यहाँ पे अर्थ का जो इवेंट्स हैं और जो सेलेस्टियल इवेंट्स हैं यहाँ पे उसको कंपेयर किया है. कहते हैं मूविंग ऑफ द अर्थ ब्रिंग्स हार्म्स एंड फियर्स. मूविंग ऑफ द अर्थ का मतलब जो ये अर्थक्वेक्स हो गए, सुनामी हो गई, इस तरह की चीजें. मूविंग ऑफ द अर्थ मेनली अर्थक्वेक्स. ही सेज कि जैसे अर्थक्वेक आ जाता है तो वो इंसान डर जाता है उस चीज से. देयर आर इट ब्रिंग्स हार्म्स, इट ब्रिंग्स फियर्स. And ordinary people can also notice all of these things, happening around them. We can see, we can feel. Men reckon what it did and meant. We can understand. Lekin, trepidation of these spheres, जो चीजें cosmic जो movements हैं, they occur very smoothly. We can't even feel planets moving, earth moving. We can't even feel that. It's far greater than the earthquakes की movement, but that is innocent, meaning कि it's undramatic again. So he implies that lesser जो physical love है, they will react to parting like an earthquake. लेकिन जो true love है, it will remain calm like the heavens. Dull sublunary lovers is love, whose soul is sense, cannot admit absence because it doth remove those things which elemented it. Sublunary lovers कौन से होते हैं? Ordinary, physical, ठीक है, जो earthly है basically. तो dull जो sublunary lovers हैं, उनका जो love है, वो लोग absence बर्दाश्त नहीं कर पाते. They cannot admit absence. They cannot live in a long distance. उनका जो soul है, it is sense, meaning their love is all about the physical relationship that they have, because it doth remove those things which elemented it. Because if you are going to go far away from your lover, you will not have those physical things. You will not have the person to hug, to hold hands, and the love will also get removed because the things that elemented their love will be gone. So since their love is based on senses, it weakens with physical separation. But पोम में जो स्पीकर है और उसकी बिलावेट है, वो कह रहा है हमारा प्यार ऐसा नहीं है. Our love is not about these mere things, but we, by a love so much refined that ourselves know not what it is, enter assured of the mind, care less eyes, lips and hands to miss. Such a beautiful line it is. He says that हमारा प्यार बहुत ज्यादा रिफाइंड है इन सारी चीजों से, है ना? That ourselves know not what it is. Then asserts that their love is spiritual, it is intellectual rather than merely physical, because it is beyond physicality. Enter assured of the mind, we know what we have, and we don't care much about eyes, lips, hands to miss. Oh, I miss holding your hand. Oh, I miss your eyes. I miss hugging you. I miss kissing you. All of these things are physical. And he says our love is much refined than that. Next, our two souls therefore which are one, though I must go, endure not yet a breach, but an expansion, like gold to airy thinness beat. He says, although we have two different souls, but एक ही है हमारी soul. Our two souls therefore which are one. Bodies different है लेकिन एक soul है. Though I must go, now I have to go. But endure not yet a breach. ये मत समझना कि अब हमारा रिश्ता टूट जाएगा. It will not be a breach. It will not be a break. In fact, it will be an expansion. Just like gold to airy thinness beat. अगर आप gold को beat करो, पतली चीज उसको बना सकते हो, वो एक्सपैंड करता जाएगा, वो ब्रेक नहीं करेगा। तो यहाँ पे एक बहुत ही फेमस ये कंसीट है वेर इन ही कंपेयर्स द लवर्स टू gold की airy thinness, expansion. So he presents this conceit. Their souls do not break apart like brittle material, but rather दूर होके उनका प्यार और stretch हो जाएगा, break नहीं करेगा, like gold hammered into a fine sheet. So this highlights the resilience and elasticity of their love. Next, if they be two, they are two so. As stiff twin compasses are two. Thy soul, the fixed foot, makes no show to move, but doth if the other do. The most famous of all stanzas, the famous comparison of the lovers with the compass. He says, चलो ठीक है, अगर मान लिया कि अब हमारी सोल्स दो हैं, if they be two, अगर एक सोल है तो हम स्ट्रेच कर जाएंगे like a compass. मान लिया चलो we are two. अगर दो हैं, then we are like the twin compass, wherein there are two legs of the compass. Your soul, लेंथ का डिफरेंस होता है ना, एक छोटी होती है, एक लंबी होती है. One is the fixed foot, जिसको आप ऐसे रख के दूसरा मूव करता है ऐसे to make a perfect circle. So he says, you are that fixed foot. You will not make any show to move. You are not going to move. But I, who is going to go right now, if I have to go a little far, it will only be if you are going to support me by bending down like this so that I can go. Such a beautiful comparison, right? The comparison of their love to a drawing compass. She is the fixed foot that stays in place while he moves away. However, they remain connected. जुड़े हुए हैं ऊपर से तो at least. Right? The stationary compass foot sits in the center of the paper while the other moves. And he says, and though it is the center sit, yet when the other far doth roam, it leans and hearkens after it and grows erect as that comes home. So although you are going to be in the center and the other one is going to roam, but you are going to lean and you're going to support me. And then you're going to come straight when I come home to you. The stationary foot is the wife who leans towards the moving foot, that is John Donne, just as she will remain emotionally inclined towards him. So as he returns, she will become stable again. Last stanza, such wilt thou be to me, who must, like the other foot, obliquely run. Thy firmness makes my circle just and makes me end where I begun. The compass metaphor continues, 3 stanzas tak continue karta hai. Her steadfast love allows him to complete his journey and return home to her, as a compass always creates a perfect circle. So this suggests the completeness and constancy of their love. Right? So her fixed position will provide him the stability to create a perfect circle which ends exactly where it begins. So don't worry, I'm going to come back to you. It's just going to be for a small while that I have to go and I would need your support. So we are not going to cry, we're not going to mourn for this small farewell. So John Donne reassures his wife that their love is not dependent on any kind of a physical presence, but it is spiritual, transcendent, unbreakable. जिस तरह से conceits use किए हैं जॉन डन ने, it's remarkable, beautiful. Gold being stretched and then the compass, it emphasizes the strength and refinement of their connection. He discourages overt displays of sorrow. रो रो के floods नहीं लाने हैं, tempest नहीं लाने हैं. Just remain steadfast as their souls will remain united. So that's about valediction, forbidding mourning. I hope you liked it and I hope you understood it. Let me know if you have any questions for me. Thank you.